Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional owners of the land that we make this podcast, and I extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that are listening to this episode. Yama. G'day, I'm Randy Walden, and this is Talking Frank, the Strip Down. Today, we're talking about what to do when contraception fails and you're faced with an unplanned pregnancy. In this week's main episode, I chatted to Maria Thattil, columnist and winner of Miss Universe Australia 2020, who opened up about her experience of having an abortion.
I kind of just had to Google, and at the time, Google just gives you a whole mixed bag of things, doesn't it? Some of it is pro-life, some of it is, supporting abortion is healthcare, and it's all very confusing.
If you missed this episode, you can go back and have a listen. It's in your feed now. Now, it's estimated that more than 1 in 4 pregnancies in Australia is unplanned, and 1 in 4 Australian women will have an abortion in their lifetime. But conversations around abortions are still clouded by stigma. And that's why we're here, to have these conversations and to remind women and people with uteruses that they're not alone in whatever decision they make. So here's a breakdown of a few things that are helpful to know about unplanned pregnancies. Number 1, let's talk about ways to prevent an unplanned pregnancy. Now, we've all seen what happened to Ross and Rachel.
We used a condom.
I know, but condoms only work like 97% of the time.
Well, they should put that on the box!
They do!
No, they don't!
Even if you're using a condom, there's still a chance you could get pregnant. No form of contraception is 100% effective. If you're having penis and vagina sex, your best protection against unplanned pregnancy and STIs is to use a condom as well as another form of contraception. However, there are some types that can be more effective than others. The most effective forms of reversible contraception are the long-acting methods, the intrauterine devices, known as IUD, and the contraceptive implant, which you might know as the rod. Both of these are over 99% effective at preventing pregnancies. Now, they're ideal, but look, I get it. Sometimes things don't go to plan. Maybe you were feeling a little bit too spontaneous and got carried away in the moment. Trust me, I know, it happens. So, you've had sex without any contraception, or you're worried that your contraception may not have worked, such as your condom broke, or maybe you forgot to take your contraceptive pill. You may decide to use emergency contraception. Emergency contraception is available at chemist and family planning clinics, get this, without a doctor's prescription. Now, they will likely ask you a couple of simple questions and hand it over instantly, without any judgment. There are 2 types of emergency contraceptive pills, one that can be taken up to 3 days after unprotected sex, and the other that can be taken up to 5 days after. Emergency contraception is around 85% effective if taken correctly, but it works better the sooner you take it. And don't forget, if you've had sex without a condom, or if the condom broke during sex, you should go and get an STI test as well. Number 2, if you do experience an unplanned pregnancy, it's good to talk to someone you trust. Now, ultimately, only you can decide what happens with your pregnancy, but it can be helpful to talk about your options with someone you know and trust, whether it's your partner, a friend, or even a family member. Your doctor or healthcare worker can also talk you through your options and provide information and support for whichever option you choose is best for you, whether that's parenting, adoption, or abortion. And these discussions are completely confidential. Only you know what's best for you, but good information and support can help you make the right decision for your own health and well-being. Number 3, there are 2 different types of abortion. The first is medical. Rather than involving surgery, a medical abortion uses medications to cause what feels like a miscarriage. They're available through private clinics, some GPs, and some specialists. It's worth noting that this option is only available if you're less than 9 weeks pregnant. The second type of abortion is surgical, which involves a procedure, usually under light sedation, to remove the pregnancy from the uterus. Surgical abortions are usually carried out between 7 and 12 weeks of pregnancy. However, they can be done later in pregnancy as well. Services for later abortions are more limited and it does become more expensive. Surgical abortions are available in New South Wales through private or community-based clinics and occasionally through public hospitals. In New South Wales, you usually don't need a referral from a doctor to visit a clinic, which means you can just call the clinic directly for an appointment. The procedure is safe, simple, and low risk when done by an experienced doctor. Whatever option you choose for your pregnancy, it's important to think about what contraception you might use in the future if you're wanting to avoid an unplanned pregnancy again. Contraception can usually be started immediately after abortion or birth. And as I mentioned earlier, there are a bunch of contraception methods available. Number 5, know the laws in Australia. While we've watched the world react to the US Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade, Australia's laws on abortion have remained the same. In Australia, abortion is legal in all states and territories under certain circumstances and when it's done by a registered doctor. Each state or territory has different laws, so you should talk to your doctor or healthcare worker to find out what applies to you. Number 6, the cost can vary. As well as the laws, the cost of an abortion can change depending on where you go and what your circumstances are. The price will depend on whether you have a Medicare or healthcare card, the number of weeks that you're pregnant, and whether you choose to have a surgical or medical abortion. I'd suggest asking how much the abortion will cost when you make your appointment so that you're not blindsided and you can prepare ahead of time, as payment is usually made on the day of appointment. And they're the stripped down facts about emergency contraception and unplanned pregnancy. If you want more information, you can go to frank.org.au, give the Family Planning Australia talk line a call, or there's even a few bits of extra information in the show notes below.